All right, welcome back. On today's show, we have Lisa, who is the Community Engagement Coordinator at BreastScreen Victoria, the state's screening program for breast cancer. In her role, she works closely with under-screened communities, that is, community groups who face barriers when it comes to accessing the BreastScreen program.
Lisa is passionate about health equality and works in partnership with under-screened community groups to develop projects, events, strategies, and to help people access BreastScreen Victoria services. One of the projects you work on in the LGBT community is called Rainbow Rose. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, hi guys, hi Zara, hi Ella, thanks for having me. Rainbow Rose is one of our amazing projects. It's a dedicated LGBTI screening session that we hold at our Rose Clinic, which is located at David Jones in Melbourne. So basically, Rainbow Rose came about because we wanted to create a space where the LGBTI community felt safe and comfortable to have a breast screen, and where they could potentially come along with a group of friends or a partner or a loved one and make a bit of an activity out of their regular breast screen. We have 4 happening this year. The first is happening Thursday the 25th of February in the afternoon from 2 till 5 p.m. So if anybody is interested or wants to find some more information about that, you can go onto our website, search Rainbow Rose and book yourself in that way.
Fantastic. And there's a booking number for that as well?
You can call 13 20 50, speak to our contact centre there, ask for Rainbow Rose and they'll have some more information from you on that. I will say as well, Zara, we're hoping to bring similar sessions out to regional Victoria. So we've been working with Zara and other regional network members, and we're looking at running these potentially in Bendigo and also in Ballarat, and then any other areas where the community decides there's a need for it. We're more than happy to roll these programs out.
The information for that will come out through local LGBTI organisations?
Yeah, absolutely. So we currently have a regional LGBTI network group where lots of different community organisations are represented on that. So we'll absolutely make sure to spread the information out through our community networks, and it'll also all be available on our website and social media channels too.
Why is it important to know and to understand about our own breast health?
It's so important for all Victorians to understand breast health because unfortunately breast cancer is a really common cancer in Victoria. Statistics now show that 1 in 7 Victorian women will develop breast cancer at some point in their life. So that probably explains why you and I have either got lived experience with breast cancer or know of somebody that has, because it is just that common, unfortunately. The best way to look after your breast health, though, is, if you're eligible, to have a breast screen every 2 years. And for viewers that don't know or have never had a breast screen before, a breast screen is essentially an X-ray of your breast tissue. And BreastScreen Victoria, who I work for, we provide free breast screens to eligible Victorians if you're aged between 50 to 74 that you screen once every 2 years, because more than 75% of breast cancers actually occur in women who are over the age of 50. And screening really is the best way to find breast cancer. While it's small, most easily treated, and you've got lots of treatment options available to you.
Mm-hmm. So could you tell us a bit about more about what breast screening is and what someone who's never had it can expect in their experience for the first time?
Breast screens are essentially an X-ray of your breast tissue. So you book an appointment, you'd be asked to provide a few details. We ask some questions about your personal history and your family history. That is, Sarah, when we'd ask questions about hormones or previous breast surgeries. Then you come along to your breast screening appointment. All of our staff at our breast screen clinics are female. We provide that breast screen where it's one-on-one, just you and a female staff member. You are asked to remove any clothing that you're wearing, including underwear on the top half, and you have your breast screen. It's a really quick, easy procedure. It takes itself, about 5 minutes. So take a few images of each breast, and then that's it. You head off, and we hopefully get the all clear, which most people do, and then we invite you to come back in 2 years' time for a screening. We've got 42 breast screen clinics across the state. So hopefully, no matter where you live, whether it's regional or metro, there's a breast screen clinic close to you. And if there's not, we have these great mobile screening vans that are called Marjorie and Nina. They're 2 big pink screening vans, and they travel around regional areas and try to fill that gap in between clinics for our regional clients. There hasn't been a lot of information out there for the transgender diverse community when it comes to screening, and we definitely recognise that at BreastScreen Victoria. So we now know that it's not just women or people who identify as women that do need to screen every 2 years. So back a couple of years ago, in 2017, we worked really closely with the transgender diverse community to come up with a transgender diverse screening policy. Mm-hmm. And that screening policy is the first transgender diverse screening policy that's ever been done for breast cancer in Australia. And that policy really clearly outlines eligibility information for trans and gender diverse people. And we know that screening is a really personal and unique experience, but there are some clear guidelines regarding whether or not you've had chest surgery, for example, or if you're taking hormones, and whether or not you should be screening based on those reasons. So first and foremost, we encourage people to speak to their GP about whether screening is right for them. But then secondly, you can come onto our website and go to the LGBTI screening page, and there's a link to a really clear fact sheet for trans and gender diverse people about when and if they should be screening with us.
Great, that's fantastic, because that's what we were just saying before. We were not sure what we're supposed to be doing.
And when.
And yeah.
So for somebody like myself, I've been on hormones for some time now, but I've just started to develop some breast tissue. And so knowing like when does that breast tissue become, I guess, significant or aged enough. So if you're talking about women aged in their 50s, well, my breasts are only 2 years old. So does that mean I need to wait until I am 80 before I get screened?
The policy explains this in a bit more information, but we do say people who have been taking the hormones for more than 5 years should speak to their GP, but we recommend that they come and screen with us too.
With the new policy you were talking about gender diversity, would it be reasonable to assume that most staff members have a bit of an understanding around transness when we're first walking in? Yeah.
That's something that we're working on and building on at all of our clinics. I will say the Rainbow Rose session, those staff have targeted really great training, but we do have various online models and training available to all staff, and to be more aware of pronouns and just a lot of things that work to make screening a more comfortable experience for all community, and particularly the LGBTI community.
Yeah.
So it's something that we're really passionate about. BreastScreen Victoria has just recently, or 2 years ago now, received our Rainbow Tick accreditation, which is basically accrediting us as an LGBTI inclusive organisation.
That's really fantastic to know, because I think it's that initial first step, and it's that added layer of being nervous as a trans person for what experience you're going to have walking into any kind of medical setting. It's nice to know that this is really being covered.
We couldn't have made any of these changes without the great feedback that we did get from LGBTI community members. Historically, BreastScreen has been seen as a real woman's face, and you know, a lot of everything's pink and is not often the most comfortable experience. And as I said before, we always say screening is important for women, but we've just starting to realise that it's not just women that do need to screen.
So we've talked a little bit about the trans community and trans women and trans men, but what about our cis community who are watching? Women and men, should men be attending screening sessions as well?
Men can get breast cancer, and it is important to talk about that male breast cancers only actually account for 1% of all breast cancers. So we don't recommend that men participate in our regular screening program, just because the evidence isn't there to suggest that it's worthwhile for them. What I will say for men, and this is the same advice that I give to anyone under our screening age that isn't eligible, it's important for everybody to be breast aware, get to know the normal look and feel of your chest and your breast tissue, and understand any changes that don't really feel right for you. When you notice something like that, if you're familiar with what's normal for you, then you're more likely to be able to go to your GP and get it checked out that way.
Is there anything that people can be just doing to take care of themselves to reduce the risk of having breast cancer?
The two main risk factors for developing breast cancer are being a woman or identifying as a woman, and the second is getting older. So there's not much we can do about those.
We can't really avoid either of those, can we?
No, but there are some things that you can do to generally just live a healthier lifestyle. So not smoking, or cutting back on smoking, or cutting back on alcohol, and exercising regularly and eating a healthy, balanced diet.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. I'd just like to remind our viewers that the Rainbow Rose session, the next one will take place on Thursday the 25th of February at David Jones, Melbourne in the CBD, and that'll be from 2 till 5 p.m. And to check your eligibility and to book, you can call 132050 or visit breastscreen.org.au/Rainbow Rose.
Thank you so much for being with us today and giving us all this very important information.
As a thank you gift, we always give our guests a little block of chocolate. So we will send this to you and you'll receive that shortly.